Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales, number 49, with The Last Adventurers. Sense and Spirality. We're on the planet Dovet. Very sort of urban mixture, you know, sort of high-tech, filled with criminals, you know, a strong justice system as well in place that all, you know, serve as, you know, officers, but also judges and executioners as well. You sense Span here as well, don't you? We get introduced to the whole society. The society of Dovet is formed array because a new world leader has been elected. This guy known as Wiseman, who is very sort of Alfred Hitchcock type character, very a man of few words, but he's very sinister looking. He is very sinister. There's something about him that people just look, you think of him as like, interesting, you know. But they think, okay. But afterwards, they sort of, you know, just like, I'm very unsure about him, dislike him. I think half it's very divisive, half and half, 50-50. You know, like, people sort of praise him, and you think he's helped us through most different things. He's helped with financial issues. He helped us with, you know, this sort of thing as well, bits and pieces. But the other half said, well, he's nothing like we really wanted. We want someone who's a bit more stronger, a bit more dictatorish, a bit more, has a bit more essence. He's just bland and whatever, and he's just useless. But he ends up being elected, and his secret motivation is basically just to eliminate most of society, really, at this point, because of his dissatisfaction with the mixture of people, different cultures, bits and pieces, you know, and people are just like in different behaviours, really. That sort of thing, like different social behaviours. It's like, I'm sick and tired of these people. Let's murder these people. You know, there's a lot of good people there, but there's a lot of bad people as well. Let's just get rid of these people. So he has these robotic soldiers known as the Quoths, or the Quaves, they're known as. Little tiny stocky robots, and outshoot. Little tiny, like, little arms come out and they shoot little tiny guns attached to them, and they shoot them to death. Also, they're bulletproof as well, so they're quite immune to a bit of firepower around on Dovet. The protagonists come over in between, you know, the whole protests and everything else, and they sort of rioting. You know, people are rebelling against Wiseman for what he's up to. He's basically betrayed and disowned them, of course. So their main intention is to take down Wiseman. You know, and come to face who he actually is. He's not an inhabitant or resident on Dovet. He's actually something else. And yeah, and it's revealed that he's an android. And inside there's a little tiny little alien pulling the string. A little tiny green bulbous alien called Alfme. Alfme apparently is meant to be like one of the most dangerous sort of dictators ever in the galaxy. Small fella, he uses his brain. He does, you know. It's just his mind and his mouth that he uses. You know, then his fists and everything else. You know, that he's very practical, very sort of strategic as well. You know, and he uses this android that he inhabits in the head to do the orders, because in actual fact, Dovet doesn't allow aliens, like alien life forms, on the planet. You know, because they might consider, you know, either contaminating people, getting diseases, killing them, anything, that sort of thing, really. Whereas they accept other cultures as well, like different people cultures, like from Earth, but also a few other planets that have different, similar, very exactly similar to Earth, but have different cultures as well. So, and obviously he wants to abolish it, really, of course, and basically just bring in all the other people, the other alien life forms to live on here, you know. We can't coalesce with humans. We can't cohabitate with each other. We must get rid of them, really, and that's his plan. Because he feels like, you know, these people need a place. You know, they need their own environment. This place's idea. And the election on Dovet is sort of the key moment. And yes, it works. And there we go. So that's the plot of Sense and Spirality. So this is another fan story that I've written. It was richly titled "The People Who Couldn't Remember," and also it was written at around the same time as the 2016 elections, the US elections, with Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, and Hillary Clinton. So you can tell that sort of influence this came from in there. I always like the idea of like this weird uptight sort of person take on the world. I just think, again, look, I think of Alfred Hitchcock, and for Wiseman, I think Wiseman in particular is just like just a random name really. I just popped up, I think, you know, Wiseman, that'll be interesting to do. He's just called Wiseman. There's no full name for him really in that regard. Obviously, it's heavily based around 2000 AD, Judge Dredd, you know, that sort of that type, you know, mega city, that sort of environment really, because I knew that for the Virgin books, of course, in particular, because they own the license to Judge Dredd actually to make novels, of course, and a few writers implemented some of the characters. I mean, if you look at the adjudicators, you know, Chris and Ross, you know, they're sort of like, again, basic similar judges, like Doctor Who's version of a judge, really, if that's right, really, because they carry, you know, they uphold the law, but also like semi-judges and executioners, if I'm not mistaken, really, if that's the adjudicators' code really, or what they're sort of meant to be really. So there's that sort of thing. But there's also the missing adventure Burning Heart by Dave Stone, which was meant to be intended to be a crossover with Judge Dredd. Interesting. I mean, if you thought like a crossover like that would have been interesting, it would have been, you know, a novel featuring the Doctor and entering, you know, Judge Dredd, I think crossing powers or entering his mega city, that sort of 2000 AD world, that would have been fantastic, you know. But the still-on film crushed dreams. It crushed it, and we sort of get a half-baked story out of it, really. You know, like there are elements of it, of course, of Judge Dredd still in Burning Heart. You can probably tell, and even though it was originally intended to be an actual crossover, because they have both the rights and they can do that. You know, it's like it just never came to be. And I thought something like that would have been interesting. So I'm sort of paying homage to that, you know, that crossover that never came to be, really. So you get these sort of the officers, the executioners, and the sort of judges, you know, a different type of judge, really, in this story, of course. You know, this sort of the thing. You've also got the ragged, you know, like sort of Blade Runner-esque type world, really, of Dovert as well. Multicultures, you know, very sort of gritty, you know, it's just like cyberpunk again type feel about it. And of course, you get the obvious Donald Trump figure as well in the middle. Of course, is Wiseman. Also, you got the obvious alien pretending to be human, whatever, in a head. Came out of Men in Black. Also, what's that name? Robert the Reindeer. Have you ever heard of those ones? Of course, it's in the second one. It is, you know, like this American entrepreneur, but voiced by Jeff Goldblum, plans to make a tourist attraction, whatever, like a museum, and just turns the reindeers into exhibits, really. And obviously one of them, of course, I think it's the character voiced by Paul Whitehouse, pulls off multiple masks, of course, and he's revealed to be this Mexican hamster, very similar thing to Men in Black, so like, again, controlling him. So there you go. So it's a very similar thing. It's a formula done beforehand in a few bits of media and television, you know, television and film, really. So it's obviously like a nice little homage to that bit. But other than that, nothing else really strike out about this. You know, Sense of Spirality sort of comes from like Death and Diplomacy, again, another Dave Stone novel, of course. So keeping it with that, of course, even it's number 49, the penultimate half of The Last Adventurers, which I'll get into with the last story. So I'm teasing what to come with the 50th one. But we'll get there. Thank you guys for watching. As always, see you for the next video, and I'll see you later.